Hey, we got a guest. Mr. John Caparulo is here.
Yeah, that guy's great.
We needed another Italian in here. That's it. We got a Rizzuto, we got a Patrico, now we got a Caparulo.
Yeah, Caparulo. Well, yeah, I sound Italian, but I'm just a white guy.
You have a vowel at the end of your last name.
Well, it's a very ethnic-sounding name, but nothing else about.
Are you not Italian?
Else about me? No, my dad is. My dad is half Italian. My grandfather on his side is full-blood Italian. They came over on the boat. Sort of thing.
The boat. It was only one boat, by the way.
There was
only one boat.
Yes.
11 of you.
Yes,
11 of you started all of this over here.
It was Mayflower 3, but it was I just there's nothing paisan about me. I don't think but I don't know. I'm just.
Did they make a good red sauce at your house? Was there a good red sauce growing up?
Ragu.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, pretty much.
Ragu.
I mean, my dad would try to make sauce, but my dad, he didn't accept the fact that he's terrible at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, why can't you just get, like, I would crave jarred sauce, because it's like, it was made right by somebody. My dad is making sauce with, like, all kinds of stuff that shouldn't be in it. He, like, barely crushes the tomatoes, and then there's raisins and olives and cigarette butts and stuff in there. Like, why? Did you clean out the drain and make sauce? That's gross.
I'm Italian.
That's really gross, dude.
This is what we did over there in the old country. We put cigarette butts in our sauce. That's why we're so hairy. Hair in your chest.
Look, it was during the war. But wait, you were born after the war. Well, still.
Yeah, in my house, jarred tomato sauce was a no.
Oh, no. Yeah.
No, my mom's Italian. My dad's Italian. That did not fly in the Riz house. No way. Wow.
Yeah.
But would you like a bagel, by the way? We have bagels. We have fresh bagels.
Thank you, Paisan. I'll take a bagel. What is that? I've never said Paisan so much in a morning. But,
he raves about this bagel place that's right down the street. Riz is from New York, and he said this is the closest thing to getting a New York bagel here
What's
in
the
St.
difference?
Louis.
It's a bagel.
It's the water.
Oh, come on. It's always the water with New York. I don't like they'd always come to L.A. I lived in L.A. for 20 years. And they just always complain about the pizza. It's pizza. Shut up, dude.
It's the water.
It's just pizza. It's cheese and bread and sauce.
It's the way the dough is made. It's the way.
I've eaten pizza in New York. I ain't impressed, okay? It's big. Yeah. Everybody got quiet. I'm in St. Louis, right? I mean, why is everybody that afraid? Like, well, it looks like John's going to leave. Like,
I'm scared of that guy.
Yeah, that's who I'm scared of. The guy that's right over there.
Oh, I see. So, anyway, I'm saying I'm not impressed by the size. There needs to be more of it. I'm trying to back out of this guy's help me out here.
You're getting it.
No,
I mean, it is as big as a boat sail, but yeah, it's.
Well, I don't know if you knew about the big controversy. The big thing going viral this week was the way that people in St. Louis sliced their bagels.
Is that what?
You didn't hear about this?
No, sorry, I
Show
missed
him
the
a picture.
bagel slicing controversy.
I guess there was nothing going on this week. So this was the big thing making the rounds was how people in St. Louis sliced their bagels.
Am I looking here?
Like bread. So they slice their bagels not in half, but they slice them like you would slice a loaf of bread.
That's kind of ridiculous.
I said it's anti-Semitic.
Yeah, right. It's like you're that upset about it being a bagel. You're trying to hide it as much as possible. Yeah,
we found out the reason that is a thing though, because Panera Bread Company.
Yeah.
That's started here, and it was called St. Louis Bread Company. And they have a couple different types of bagels that the tops are covered with, like, either cinnamon crunch or cheese. And the reason they slice it like that is because if you slice it the regular way, the bottom half of the bagel is just a bagel. It's not a cinnamon bagel anymore.
Yeah.
So slicing it that way, each piece, you get a little bit of that cinnamon.
Yeah. I always thought Panera was Italian for stale bread, but my wife carts me there all the time, and I'm like, great, I gotta eat more hard bread. I guess I'll have soup. Yay!
Well, you can put that soup in that hard bread.
You sure can for a while. Unless you want to chip a tooth. Yeah, it's that and ciabatta. Ciabatta's everywhere. I hate ciabatta. I'm sorry. I have a. There's no joke there. I just have a deep-seated resentment.
Ciabatta is ciabatta bread.
Ciabatta bread. Yeah, it just sounds hard. It's just ciabatta. Like, because I order a sandwich. They'll have it on a menu or something like a burger or something. It's like, oh yeah, I'll get the cheeseburger, and it's like, ciabatta. Great. This is gonna be the worst burger. It's gonna be
I agree with you. I don't like bread that when I could take a bite, all of a sudden my gums have the possibility of bleeding.
Right, or I get crumb dust in my eye. Like it goes, and it's like what happened to the bun?
Are you a food guy?
No. If you ask my wife, no. I upset her because what I eat is very like. I eat stuff that's plain, like I get.
You're a meat and potatoes guy.
I'm a guy who I find what I like and I stick with it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like when because I always get mad, like if you pull into a drive-through and you see somebody, like you're behind somebody and you can tell they're actually reading the menu. Like, what are you doing? Like,
what they have at McDonald's,
right? You pull it, you know your number, you pick your number, your size, and you roll with it. All right. I mean,
write it down if you have to.
You don't ask questions. That's not it's not a hostess on there. Like you don't just you have vinaigrette. No, they don't have vinaigrette.
On the McDonald's drive-through, you shouldn't be you shouldn't be stopping.
Right.
Like, you should always be in constant motion.
I like the ones, I don't know if they do it here, because In-N-Out Burger out west, they have the kid with the iPad. Like,
yeah,
who's
that's
out there,
Chick-fil-A.
who comes to you.
Chick-fil-A,
Yeah. Oh, it's great, isn't it? They're just like, look, we mean business here, all right? Order, let's go. We don't have time for you to get to the microphone.
I'm waiting on you right now.
Who's pulling up to a McDonald's and going, and they go, hey, welcome to McDonald's, can I take your order? And they go, how's your Big Mac?
Yeah, right. I hate when they try to adapt to, what
would you recommend?
I hate when they try to make it healthy. Like, if you pull into McDonald's, you pretty much just decided, you know what? I don't want to live that long. Why don't we just, it's like, quit putting apple slices on there, all right? We're having fries. That's why we're here. If I wanted apple slices, I'd go home. I'd climb a tree.
Have you done stand-up overseas? Like, have you been to England to do...
I went to Guam once. That's the only overseas gig I did. Yeah, that was interesting.
Why would you start with Guam?
Guam, it's amazing.
It's American.
It's basically.
Well, I know. I'm just saying when you think
American
overseas,
territory.
I don't think Guam right away. I guess
I don't either. I mean, trust me. I went there. I mean, it really. When you're there, it almost seems like Asia's Hawaii. Like a lot of people vacationing from over in Asia, but the population there, they speak they're the English primarily, and they're really cool. But I still was like, I don't know if I'm going to say much you can relate to.
Right. Did you do local Guam jokes? Is that what you? I mean,
I tried some.
I spent a week
humor,
there to
and
get material.
it just didn't.
Coconuts,
really
huh, guys?
So I've been told to concentrate mainly on tree fruits.
Did you do work on was it one of the bases, like one of the military bases?
It wasn't. It was a hotel.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that maybe it would be that sort of thing when I was going, and wasn't at all. It was just mainly a audience of probably between 20 and 30 mostly, and they were just islanders. They were cool people, but it was surprising to me still. But it's still just it's your lifestyle thing. Like when I would go to Canada, I remember years ago I was doing a bit about $2 bills, and in Canada that doesn't translate. You would think Canada, it's just America Junior or whatever.
It's America's hat.
Yeah, right. It's one big North Dakota, and and you go up and it's like some things just don't translate because the way they go. $2 bills, that's just a thing they do. So they're like, why is that funny? And it's like, it's not. I'm going to leave now. It's something.
Try the poutine. Try the poutine. Thank you very much. No, I was going to say, as a meat and potatoes guy, going to England and stuff, what would you eat there? Would you think they would, you go to Le McDonald's if you go to France?
Yeah, right. I see. Yeah, my wife would be mad. I'd be looking for that. I need familiarity. I don't want to gamble with my meal.
Right.
But do you ever think of what people not from this country think of us and the way we eat, and our habits?
They probably think we're disasters.
Yeah. Gluttonous, I think, comes to mind.
Yeah, I would say that would be the first
The
thing.
thing I remember about going over to Europe for the first time was everything had less flavor. like chips and all that kind of stuff.
Well,
Didn't
I guess
just
it depends
destroy
on
you
where
with
you
I think
go.
it's our. We should watch that Supersize Me movie from years ago. I think it was the portions actually that they were.
Like we have giant portions.
Yeah, like go to Buca de Beppo. You know, it's like I have a week's worth of pasta here as an appetizer. It's like, jeez, why do I eat this much pasta?
On Twitter, there was a thread where people from Europe were asking Americans like why you do certain things when you eat. Like, why do Americans eat bread with pasta? Seems redundant, doesn't it? Are you somebody that would order pizza and breadsticks?
You know what?
Why?
No, I don't. But I have, and I understand the ridiculousness of it.
I have, and I'm ashamed.
Yeah.
The reason why is because if I order if we get pizza from like I don't want to plug anybody, so I'll just say Mama John's, and that'll cover it.
What
And
are we talking about?
I'm always like really in a hurry to get to the crust so I can dip it in garlic butter.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and the breadstick just cuts out all that sauce and cheese part that's getting in my way, because it's basically I'm just eating through that as a job to get to my to my reward. It's like a maze in a mouse. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to get to instead of the cheese, the crust.
I know exactly what he's talking about. When I would order Papa John's, you sit there and you open it up and you get the garlic cheese, the sauce, you shake it up, you open that, and then you go, I could easily dip the triangle in this.
Yeah.
But I
a
don't
lot
want
of people
to.
do. Yeah.
I got to get to this crust as
So
quick as I
let's go- I
possibly
gotta go to
can
work.
so I can dip this.
Yeah.
Go to work.
Where they always try to warn me when I order it. I'm like I'll have a whatever, an extra large pepperoni, and then I'll say, and can I have 8 butters? I'll order 8 garlic butters, and they'll be like, those are an extra $1.25. I'm like, they could be $50 each. I don't care, dude. I'm not gonna. What am I gonna make my own? I'd have to melt butter and put garlic in it. That would take a lot of science.
So for a foreigner, so if you met a foreigner and they said, what is ranch? How would you describe ranch? That was one of the questions. What is ranch, and why do Americans eat it with everything?
You could put ranch on dog poop, and I'd probably be, you know what?
How would you
that's
describe it?
That's a good pile right there. That's fantastic. Ranch makes everything better.
But how would you describe ranch to somebody who's never had ranch?
I would say it's the condiment of the gods.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything to me.
It's a creamy slice of heaven. That sounds
Just say
erotic.
try it.
It's a creamy slice of heaven.
It is. It's really, yeah. Like right now, I'm tearing up. Ranch.
They say, what is ranch and why do you put it on everything? I would say it's delicious and because I can.
Exactly, yeah.
Why do Americans eat ice cream when they're sad? I bet it's a childhood thing.
Same answer as before, because it's delicious and I can.
Mm-hmm. And I'll put ranch on it. So
Meatloaf looks disgusting. Why do Americans eat it?
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah. Meatloaf is one of those things. As a kid, you're like, meatloaf.
As an adult,
yeah,
I
as an
appreciate
adult,
it.
you start to,
It's
you
a
start to
bucket of
really appreciate the loaf. As an adult, and you're just
A few weeks ago,
Appreciate the loaf.
a few weeks ago, Riz found out that someone in this building despises Meatloaf, and he said to him directly to his face, he goes, I think of you so much differently now.
I do. I think they're a monster. I don't think I've spoken to them
You know what?
since.
I
It's a
understand.
bucket of
I
meat,
understand.
man. What's not to love? It's a bucket of meat.
I'm like that myself. It's not on the food topic, but I remember I had when I was, it was early on in my stand-up career, and I was having like different managers like try to basically offer their services as a manager, and I remember one guy I was kind of we were going to see if we were going to work together, and I remember he was from Chicago. And we started talking one night about because I was a Bulls fan back when Jordan played, and it was before a show one night, and he's like, yeah, Jordan was great, but I always kind of thought Scottie Pippen was better than Jordan, and we never worked together again. I was like, anybody with that kind of judgment is not going to have any sort of power over my career because you're a dumb guy.
You're a Cleveland guy, aren't you? Aren't you from Cleveland?
I'm from Ohio, Cleveland-ish. I went to Kent State, so that's closer to Cleveland.
So
but
you weren't a...
I was a Browns fan as a kid until I decided that was no way to live. People always say like the.
There's hope this year.
Well, yeah, they actually did join the pros last year, which I fully support. I mean, that's
a cool
great
move. Yeah,
I really thought. I mean, because I really think the NFL is you have a quarterback, and if you don't, and you're irrelevant if you don't, and they now really do. And I really like their chances with Baker Mayfield. But I stopped being a Browns fan actually when they cut Kosar back in '93.
Bernie Kosar.
Yeah, it's like, oh, my quarterback doesn't look like Big Bird anymore. So now, but I mean, but it's funny because I'm such a Belichick fan now, but back then I hated him. All of Cleveland hated him because he was so surly compared to. We all love Marty Schottenheimer. He was such a gregarious guy and really everybody it was just such a love affair with that team. And then when Belichick came in just mumbling to the media and stuff like that when he's on the treadmill, like, man, it's like, what's this guy's problem? They're 5-11. Why?
You know what he's described as? Surly.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick is surly.
He alone keeps that word going.
Yeah.
But if
That's a surly guy.
Have you ever seen him interviewed about anything? As long as somebody's not interviewing him about his team, about second guessing him after a loss or something like that. If they want to talk to him about like if you ever watched the AFL history documentary on Showtime from years ago, he's a really, really interesting guy who knows a lot about football history, and he's really engaging and charismatic. But if you start questioning him about 4th and 2, man, he's not. He's going to get real quiet.
I think it was last week TMZ got a hold of him. I think TMZ caught up with him outside of a restaurant, and to see him smile, you go, "Ooh, man,
who is that guy that looks like
that
Belichick?"
guy? Yeah. But I mean, his records speak for themselves. Where it's like he can't be all bad because those guys are willing to follow him. I mean, his record helps, but still, he obviously has some effect. But I've seen every stop of the, especially early in his career, all the Giants, they were like, who's this guy? He doesn't have any football background. He doesn't even know what he's, but then they started realizing he was designing all their defenses and stuff. And they're like, wow, that guy, maybe we should listen to him.
Well, you were a Bulls fan, so not a Cavs fan, huh? I was asking about LeBron.
Yeah. That's the thing is the Browns, I felt like I inherited, because I was very young, and I just sort of was like, all right, it's like an arranged marriage. You're like, because I remember when I was a little kid, I was looking at Dan Marino and the Dolphins or Montana and the Niners, it was like a hot chick, oh man, I wish I could get that, but I'm stuck with this broad. And but then I when I got into basketball, it was later, so I felt like I was a free agent. I could just pick who I wanted, and I liked Spud Webb at first because I thought, oh, he's short and I'm short, so yeah. That means I can play in the NBA. It didn't.
He's the guy that won the slam dunk contest, even though he's really short, right?
Yeah. But then Jordan, I love watching somebody who's that great at what they do. It's really and I don't care where you play or what your uniform is. Like Tom Brady, it's just if somebody's that good. If you like a sport, why would you not like that? I hated John Elway when I was a kid because of the Browns. When you look back in retrospect, it's why would you like football and not like John Elway? He's everything that football is about.
We always say this when somebody goes, Tom Brady sucks. No, certainly does not suck.
He does not.
You may not like him.
He's not even close to sucking, dude.
You may not like him.
Yeah, you can hope he snaps his leg,
suck.
But you can't take away the resume.
Sidney Crosby sucks.
Yeah.
He doesn't suck.
I think history will beg to differ.
You just don't like him.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Check the numbers.
John Caparulo's here. See him at Funny Bone. He's got 2 shows today, 7:30, 9:30. 2 shows tomorrow, 7 and 9:30. You can stick around. Could he stick around for a couple minutes? Because I want to take a break. You want to play a little game? We'll do the Craigslist Price Is Right.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good one. Yes.
And have John play along, too.
I like this.
Let's do it. Yeah.
So we find an item on Craigslist, and you have to guess how much it costs.
Price is Right rules.
Price is Right
All right.
rules.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
So,
are we going to play Plinko? Or?
No, we have the old mountain man go up the... what's that game?
Oh, yeah.
Yodler?
Yeah, they always play that as he goes up the thing, but I don't know what it's called.
Scott, get some people on the phone. 314-692-5537. 314-6-Walker. We'll play next.
Cliffhanger.
Damn it.
That's it.
All right, welcome back. John Caparulo's here. See him at the Funny Bone this weekend. 2 shows tonight, 2 shows tomorrow. him and Patrico were, I mean, geez, I thought you guys were going to start making out over your love of shoes.
I know. I was going to move out of the way.
You didn't interrupt us.
Stop it.
I have about 60 pairs of shoes at home, and I had no idea what they were talking
Well, they
about.
were talking about Air Jordans.
Yeah.
and-
Gosh.
Yeah.
That's a Nike, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
You found your soulmate.
It's like guys with car guys or whatever. With shoe guys, when when we lock into that, it's like, yeah, that's it's just it's like knowing each other forever.
It's my jealousy because I wish I was into something as much as you guys are into shoes.
The funniest thing is so we're talking about shoes and all these Jordans and the Jordans I have and he's got, and I look down and I'm wearing some like casual slip-on Levi shoes. I'm like,
dork.
I'm like embarrassing.
Yeah, your favorite brand of shoes is, I don't know, whatever my wife bought me on the internet.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
Sad, isn't it? It is sad. I wish I was
It's like driving a minivan.
I
or
wish I
something,
was
you know?
passionate about something like that.
I tell you what, the shoes you got on right now, you should be passionate about.
I have no idea what they are.
I know.
What do you got on?
I don't know these.
Those are some pretty badass shoes.
Well, I mean, but I mean, if you rode a skateboard to work,
You don't know? Do you know? You don't know what I have parked back there.
I went through a skateboard shoe phase too for a bit. I've been through phases.
I think these are soccer. Are these soccer shoes?
What were they called again?
Golas?
Golas?
Are they?
They were
Golas?
pretty badass
Gola?
shoes.
Gola? Gola? Again, it's whatever showed up on the doorstep my wife bought. And I go, okay. Size 10.
He's not even kidding.
Size 10? Okay. And I did drive a minivan, and I loved it.
Nice. Well, way to be comfortable with who you are. I like it. That's all good.
I was captain of the SS Vagina Magnet.
When he was driving this minivan, every time anybody would bring up, yeah, and you drive a minivan, he'd go, yeah, and it's got a touchscreen in the back and the kids can play games. I'm like, all right.
I would love that myself. I'd be listening to TV all the time. I was driving myself. Yeah.
We had a minivan for 3 years. I liked it. At first, I didn't think I'd like it. I thought I'd given up.
Yeah.
But then, we're like, all right.
Okay.
Press the button, the door slides open, kids run in and out.
The best is when we drove down to Disney World and, we brought the kids and my wife came with us and we were like, I was like, man, you rented a minivan? Great. And then it showed up and we drove it down there. I was like, this is sweet. We got back home. My wife's like, I think I'm going to look at a minivan. I'm like, no, you're not. No, we're good.
She's not into it?
No, she was into it. I was not.
Oh, why?
Like once we got back here. It was cool to drive down there, but once we got back here, I was like, no, I'll take my
Maybe
truck.
just wait till
you
your kids
take
are
your
old
SUV,
enough to
we're
kind of
good.
jump in and out of the car themselves.
I bet that would make a huge difference.
See,
yes.
I mean, in Vegas, like I had sold my car before we left and moved there, but then I bought I had to get a new car because me and my wife were sharing her car, and plus that car just humiliated me every time I drove it. It was she drives a bright red Volvo. And it's like hi, I have no pride, and I just the worst of it is like when the three of us would go to the show together, to my show, like I mean I need to feel a certain way when I go to my show, like I need to feel like a man, like a grown man who can drive a car, and but if all of us went, my daughter would, it's like if I want to sit in the front of our car, she'll cry, and I don't want to do that the whole way. So I got to sit in the back of a Volvo
as your wife drives
to go to my show. Yeah, it's like I literally feel like my wife's teenage son, and I'm in the back getting yelled at. And
I don't think there's anything less manly there.
It's nothing. It's so bad. So I'm like, look, I'm gonna have to drive my Mustang and play No Easy Way Out from Rocky IV.
She drives you to a gig, have her drop you off like half a block away.
Right. Yeah. Can I get out down there?
Mom, I don't want to see me back here.
No, we're not doing that. Okay, I'm making one stop.
Let's give away some tickets. Let's give away some tickets. We got tickets to go see The Interrupters, a sold-out show Monday over at Del Mar Hall. We got tickets to go see Foles over at the Pageant on April 24th. John Caparulo's here, and we're going to play Craigslist Price Is Right. Oh, how'd you get the music? Right, the music. We got music for this?
Yes, we sure do.
All right, let me get the music out here, and I believe this is.
You want me to do it?
Proper music.
Nailed it.
So Tony's going to read the description of an item found on Craigslist, and we'll have some people on the phone have their guesses as far as the price goes, and John will guess.
Okay.
What the price is. And it's Price is Right rules. Closest without going over wins.
Gola shoes, you were right. $90 a piece. Damn, dude.
$90
shoes? You must be rich.
That's for a pair, though. You get 2 for that.
All right, nice.
Made from placenta.
Let's-
all right. That's cool. All right.
Let's meet our contestants. Matt in St. Peters. Hello, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Say hi to John Caparulo.
Hey, John, how are you?
How are you?
All right, hang on 1 second.
Good.
And we'll get your guess as soon as Tony reads the description. Here's Ryan in Millstadt. Hello, Ryan.
What's going on, gentlemen?
All right, you are contestant number 2. Hang on. And we have Cody in Belridge.
Happy birthday, Riz.
Oh, thanks, Cody. It's not really my birthday.
Oh, okay. Well,
It's a thing.
okay.
Hang on, Cody. All right, that's our third contestant.
Merry Christmas, Riz.
Thanks, John. All right, the item up for bids is...
Today's item up for bid on the Craigslist Price is Right is an autographed picture of Yakov Smirnoff as he's being sworn in as a U.S. citizen. The ad reads as followed. I bought this picture online a few years back because I was not only a huge Yakov Smirnoff fan, but because I knew at some point this photo would be worth a lot of money. It's iconic.
Does it have his stats on the back? What's that?
Unfortunately, I may have miscalculated a little because it's not really worth much. It's still a very cool piece of history if you are into that. Also, if you are a Yakov fan, this is something that is a must-have in your collection. The autograph says, "To Elliot, proud member of USA, what a country." Again, I spent quite a bit of money on it, but not looking to make it all back. I am willing to part with it for a great one-time offer price. So we ask you, how much for the Yakov photo?
It is an autographed picture of Yakov Smirnoff as he's being sworn in as a U.S. citizen.
You all know what I'm talking about, too. It's the picture of him holding the Statue of Liberty while he's sitting there in the chair with the biggest smile ever.
I didn't know the photo.
Oh, yeah,
no, I
that's
didn't have a
like
mental
iconic,
picture. I
like-
just, I
Do you know if it's glossy or matte?
Does it come with a frame?
Yeah,
Oh,
good point,
that's a
because
good
that
point.
weighs in the price.
Is it being sold by Yakov Smirnoff? It's like, who has this?
Let's go to the contestants on the phone first.
What I love is
The guy who put it up there, his name is not Yakov Smirnoff.
No, it's personalized. It
Yeah,
says
it's somebody
to
named Elliot.
Oh, my gosh.
All right.
It's Chris
Really?
Elliott.
Yeah. It's like,
Chris Elliott.
Who's going to put that on their mantle? My name's John, but I have a 2 Elliot. Come on.
Matt, how much for the Yakov Smirnoff signed picture?
$50.
$50. All right, remember, Price is Right rules. That's closest without going over.
Did you hear us say Yakov Smirnoff, right? Did you hear us say Seinfeld?
Ryan, how much for the Yakov Smirnoff picture?
What was the first bid?
$50.
$50. I'm gonna go $7.
$7.
Ooh,
Okay.
Strategery.
And we got Cody. How much for the autographed Yakov Smirnoff picture?
I'm gonna say $250.
$250. Wow.
What do you
say
think? Is that
$250
$250 or $2.50?
$250.
Okay.
John Caparulo, how much for the autographed picture of Yakov Smirnoff as he's being sworn in as a U.S. citizen?
Well, I was going to be the guy on Price is Right who says $1, but I don't want to go over. So I'm going to go. I am going to say a nickel.
So
I'm going to guess free porch pickup.
5 cents. All right, here we go.
Riz. Actual price of the autographed picture of Yakov Smirnoff as he's being sworn in as a U.S. citizen is $95.
Still
I want to know what
available.
he paid for it in the first place.
He said, yeah, because he said he came down in price.
Matt wins.
Yeah.
What
I
he
mean,
doesn't, what he failed to mention here is that it's
Contestant
$95, and it also comes with $95 cash. So,
I just need to get this out of my house.
He'll pay shipping, too.
It's
Well,
scaring
congratulations,
people
Matt.
away.
Matt's our winner. We need 3 more people on the phone there, Scott.
God.
314-692-5537.
Wish I was having a good
314-6
time.
Walker.
I mean, he described it like an art dealer. You know, like it just set me back a few. Like, how much, dude?
He did have his own theater in Branson for a long time.
oh, I've seen
Yeah,
him
yeah.
twice. True story. I just thought about this though. This guy on this photo,
Yeah, he's alive. He just
he
retired.
he said that he bought this picture online a few years ago. So unless he bought it and then had Yakov Smirnoff sign it, this is now a third-hand autographed to Elliot photo.
To Elliot, yeah, right. I mean, it's
Piece of history.
And Elliot's got an ad going, hey, has anybody seen my Yakov Smirnoff picture? I'll pay $95
I'm
for
planning on
it.
handing this down to my kids.
or actually, he actually signs every picture like that.
To Elliot.
Just to Elliot. Like my name's Steve. No, bye, Elliot. Take it or leave it, Elliot.
Who am I making out this? Who am I making this out to? Jeff. ELLI.
I'm not from this country, so I spell everything Elliot.
Do you know English? Yeah, one word. Elliot.
To Elliot. Have a nice
Maybe he
Elliot.
thinks everybody in America is named Elliot.
Love Elliot.
All right, let's get some more contestants. Kenny in Washington. Hello.
How you doing?
Doing well. You are contestant 1. Hang on 1 second. That's Kenny over there.
All right, get it.
I wish
Kenny
somebody
out
would
there
call
in
in when you
Washington.
said, what's their name? Elliot, where's my picture?
That'd be great if we had an Elliot on this. Elliot. Oh, man, we were just talking
James.
Yes.
Hello. You are contestant number 2. Okay.
Nice.
Hang on
I
one
know.
second.
It's always best to be contested, too.
And King Scott in there is talking to, here we go, Mitch.
Elliot,
Hello, Mitch.
all right.
Hey, Mitch.
Mitch.
Hello.
You are contestant number 3. Hang on. All right.
I don't have time for your greetings.
All right. I got to get the music going again.
Ready,
Next
Riz?
item up for bids is...
The next item on the Craigslist Price Is Right is a collection of homemade, handmade, personally crafted animal teeth jewelry. The ad reads as follows. Ever since I was a kid, my grandfather taught me that no piece of the animal should be left unused. It's why we hunt. We eat as much as we can and then utilize the rest of the carcass. And that's exactly what I've made my passion. I still hunt to this day.
Thank you, John Redcorn.
I still hunt to this day, and now I have started making jewelry out of the leftover teeth. I have a bunch of stuff that I am starting to sell. Fox necklaces, beaver rings, deer and moose bracelets. I even have an extremely rare black bear belly button ring. My niece asked me to make it for her, but then her mother decided it wasn't okay for her to wear. It's a beautiful piece. I'm sure. I have around 50 pieces of jewelry I'm willing to sell. I prefer to not split up the lot. I have a ton of photos if you would like to see more.
So this is a collection, so 50 pieces.
Way to step in, Mom. Yeah. Very rarely does a mom have to go, that's so lame. You're not wearing that.
And if it makes a difference, this is from Montana.
Okay.
It does make a difference.
I did assume that.
It does make a difference. All right, so a collection of homemade, handmade, personally crafted animal teeth jewelry. 50 pieces.
50 pieces.
Oh, wow, okay. Kenny?
It'd be great if they're like, you know, like it's like a lizard's teeth or something. You can't see them. All right, it's just I know it just
They're
looks like
there.
a string, but yeah, it's actually.
Kenny, how much?
What is the? I didn't hear what
It's the personally crafted animal teeth jewelry. 50 pieces. What do you think?
$100.
$100. Okay, hang on. Let's go to James. Hello, James.
Yes.
James, personally crafted animal teeth jewelry. 50 pieces.
Sounds amazing.
How much?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say $49.95.
Like it?
That,
I like
yeah,
it.
that's like home shopping.
Mitch, what do you think?
Yeah.
Homemade, personally crafted animal teeth jewelry. Over 50 pieces.
100 and a quarter.
100 and a quarter. Okay. John
We have
Caparulo.
a $50 and a $49.95 bid. I am gonna say for 10 pieces of
This is 50
pieces. You only want 10 of them.
It was 50 pieces. Right, yeah, I only want the 10. Just, yeah.
Well, he prefers not to split up the lot, so we're going to have to bid on all 50.
Do any of them have the name Elliot across the teeth? I am going to go with $500.
Ooh, $500. All right. Here we go. Actual retail price of this item is...
The Craigslist price for the teeth jewelry is $215.
Oh.
Wow.
that means Mitch wins. Congratulations, Mitch.
Yeah.
All right, he didn't
There's
realize how
100 and a
much more
quarter.
he would have gotten out of me. It's really, I can get some teeth on my neck, you know.
I gotta get these two.
I gotta get these teeth
Gotta get
around
these
my
I
neck.
don't have enough teeth on
If
my
it had been
body. Can I
$500,
get some
you'd have
more?
gotten both prizes. That would have been
You know
pretty
what?
cool.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Teeth and
I
the
was
picture.
I was willing to spend.
All right, I want everybody this weekend to go see John Caparulo over at
Thank you.
He's got two
guys.
shows, 7:30, 9:30 today, tomorrow, 7 and 9:30. Anything else to plug?
Just if you're in Vegas, I'm at Harrah's 6 nights a week, and check out my comic book on my website, johncaparulo.com.
6 nights a week in Vegas, huh?
Yeah.
Are you a gambler?
I used to be until I realized I'm not that good at math. So, I had to accept my limitations.
You know, because you hear people who live in Vegas don't, actually gamble.
Yeah.
They make fun of the people that come to Vegas to gamble.
I used to play poker when I lived in L.A. because there's a lot of actually L.A. is the spot to go if you're into poker, and I just finally had to accept the
You're
Asian
terrible.
guys are better than I am, so I'm gonna go home. So
I
yeah.
remember I was, I played poker with my friends, and I'm like, man, I could do this. So I went up to the casino. I went by myself,
Yeah.
and I went to the poker room, and I was cleaned out within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
It moves pretty quick in the room. Yeah.
You spend the rest of the night trying to get yourself back to even, and it's
it
such a
was-
miserable time.
It was these guys. No, they smelled the fresh meat.
Yeah. Me and my buddies used to go to, we'd finish up at the Comedy Store, and we would drive down at 11 midnight or something like that, and we'd play for, you're playing for hours, and it's like we would go home just because it's like 6 a.m. and it's like we want to beat traffic home. But I mean, the casino was still packed when we left, and I'm like looking around this, but I'm like, is everybody here a comedian? Like, what do you guys do? I mean, you're just here forever. It's amazing, but yeah, man, it's a popular sport, man.
Well, I think
Game,
we learned in this past hour 2 things. Actually, 3 things. John loves shoes, loves meatloaf, and Yakov Smirnoff.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the trifecta. You're done. You can go.
see him this weekend at Funny
Bye,
Bone.
Elliot.